it's good to have you join us again for your favorite program. This is Close Flow, coming to you from NTA2 Lagos Network Center, and we are delighted always because we know that you are there to join us so that we can enjoy this conversation together. And what are we looking at today? Today we have with us a man of many parts, a distinguished scholar, a seasoned and chartered administrator, a journalist, a law graduate, a public health practitioner, a lover of lawn tennis, but more importantly, let me just tell you this, is the president of the Institute of Administrators. Okay, my pleasure to welcome onto the Close Flow today, Dr.
Festus Odunayo Abimbola Oshoba.
You are welcome to Close Flow.
Thank you, sir.
And I love the way you introduce yourself.
Thank you.
That was a full-fledged name. Now, Doctor, let's quickly go straight to the issue because when we are talking about administrators, Nigerians are a little bit worried or wearied. What exactly these administrators, what are they supposed? They are certified to do what? To delay things, to create embargoes, to create delays. Can you just give us a summary?
Thank you so very much. So the truth is that virtually all the members are administrators, because in your house you're an administrator. When you are preparing for exams in your school, it's a form of administration. But here we are saying that administration is the mother of all professions.
Okay.
So it is the bedrock, it is the cornerstone of everything we do to make things happen. So professional administration now has to do with the regulation of the practice of administration in Nigeria. It has to do with determining the standard of knowledge that somebody who is to be called an administrator should have. It's about making sure there is continuous education for administrators, and it's about art and science. So the science of it is a body of knowledge. The long and short of it is that we have goals and objectives that we want to achieve. So how do we go about it? We have a vision, a dream. For example, Vision 2020, Vision 2030 Nigeria.
Yes.
And then we put it in the mission statement. How are we going to achieve it? Then we raise a team that will achieve it. And then we begin to now say, what are the yardsticks to be used in measurement? Whether we are getting it right or wrong.
Yes.
And then real professional administration now is people coming together to cooperate to achieve goals and objectives that have been set by the organization, by the individual, by the family, by the constituency, by the local government, by the world at large.
Beautiful. That is a beautiful, as it were, paragraph for us to actually take away. But quickly, Nigerians are saying, how can we vouch for the competencies of chartered administrators when we look at the failed entities, whether they are in government, in governance, in the private sector, like you have just said, even in homes? I mean, families are failing. And so where is that the incompetencies of the administrators or other disturbing elements?
Thank you so very much. So the Chartered Administration is chartered by Act number 103 of 1982, now Cap 67, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria.
Yes.
And there is a professional body that is enabled, empowered by the laws of the Federation of Nigeria for the regulation of the profession of administration in Nigeria. So we have a situation where many people get into top positions in administration without actually going through administrative training. The skills that are required to be an administrator. So when they do it by trial and error. Whereas when you now have a professional administrator, the most important thing about it is ethics. So to be our member, before we can admit you,
yes,
you will actually swear an oath that you will maintain integrity in all your relations, both in public and in private.
Wow.
And that if you are in charge of any resources, you will maximize it to the best of the opportunities and objectives and goals set. So this is where the situation is. So we have a situation where a lot of people are in administration, but they have not gone through professional administration. So therefore, when you do like that, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And that is what causes maladministration. For example, if we recall that part of the problem we have in the civil service was a mass purge in the civil service.
Yes.
In the
70s.
Anyway, yes, in the 70s.
Yes.
So that is it. So that led to a situation where many of the civil servants suddenly found that they were living on borrowed time. So their chair, their beddings, and everything belonged to government, and many of them didn't find it funny. And that is part of what led to corruption in Nigeria. So the new set of administration found out that their forebears left with nothing. So they now started to help themselves to say...
to secure the future.
To secure the future, in quotes. So, but we find out that it's also depend on society itself and the rules that we have set for ourselves. So we have to have a vision. Do we want to have a country with good administrators, a country that has zero-level tolerance to corruption? So if we have that, then we need to really follow it up. Of course, when you want to implement change, there is a lot of resistance to it. But if we all agree, we make laws, and we follow it up, and everybody live by example, so then we'll be able to achieve our goals and objectives, have a better society in which people will be happy, because we have enough resources to go around.
Yes.
When some people have keep resources that are meant for everybody and a few people, and they find out that when you keep these resources, really doesn't help you. Whether you're a billionaire, it's people during the COVID-19, we had people who had a lot of Rolls Royce, and they passed on. And somebody else might be using the Rolls Royce now. So the truth is that administration is for everybody. And it is important for us to reckon with the Chartered Administration, register with the organization, attend our courses,
and get
informed. And when that happens, in whatever position you are, you can now perform very well.
Great.
For example, I'll say something.
Yes.
The Chartered Administration takes care of everybody. I'm primarily a physician, so the chairman of our board of fellows is a lawyer. So we have accountants, and there we have everybody. So when we have gotten to a particular peak of your career, and a lot of the things you have to do with administration, you need to be well schooled
on what to do
on administration, so that you always do good administration rather than maladministration.
Okay, great. That is another element again that we want to give you. Okay, I should take off my.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, all right. But we know that administrators are saddled with the execution of public affairs, public policies, and all that. But that is distinct from policy making. Administrators are not policy makers. So who are the administrators? Who are the policy makers? And where are the intersection And at what point do we now say there is maladministration in this place?
Thank you. We have what is called strategic administration. Strategic administration is actually policy making. So when we say we have a immediate plan, that is the annual budget.
Yes.
Medium-term plan, 2 to 5 years,
Yes.
and then long-term plan.
Yes.
So that is actually strategic planning. So that is actually policy formulation.
Okay.
So even in doing that, administrators must be involved. So
when they're not involved, that means
there's going to be a problem. Because then when you create the policy, you now find out that there are a lot of loopholes in it, and it doesn't achieve the goal and objectives that it was set for.
Okay, all right. Let me come back to what you have just said about the professionalism. You are, for instance, a leading medical practitioner, dental practitioner, and all that, and you also do other things. Okay. Now, so how do you respond to the evidence-based management processes? Is that are our current administrators, are they trained, are they schooled in evidence-based administrative processes?
The answer is yes, because performance management is about administration.
Yes.
So in administration, we have a situation where it's all encompassing and involves every part of human endeavor. So everything starts with the planning, the coordinating, the budgeting, and organizing, the recruitment of staff.
Yes.
All this is professional administration. So administration encompasses virtually all areas that you have mentioned, and it is when this is put in place, round peg and round hole, that we have very successful administration.
Okay, all right. Let's come back straight to public affairs, because again, Nigerians are always of the opinion that governance is not actually getting, back to the citizens, especially on the street. So, can we use better or deeper logic, and maybe we employ, like you said, measurable data to empower our leaders in Nigeria, whether in the public sector or in private sector, so that they can perform and deliver on their jobs to the best of their abilities? Is that what you're asking us to do now?
Yes. The first thing we need to do is that right from inception, when the child is born, from the home, we need to teach them ethical values. When they get into primary school, secondary school, cultural and ethical values must be emphasized.
Dido, 1 second, please. We are talking straight to our viewers at home.
Yes.
You are saying this must start from home.
Yes.
Wow.
Because it's all about ethics. It's all about character. When character is lost, everything is lost. And when you get a university degree, they put there, you have been found worthy first in character, then in learning. Because if your character is bad, then you use your learning to the disadvantage of humanity. And that is not supposed to be the case. So it starts from the home, and people imbibing very good ethics and culture, moral values, and ethos defined by the society.
Yes.
So once that goes on, then it follows. Also religious. We can quote 2 examples. For example, the current registrar of the JAMB,
Yes.
Professor Oloyede, we find out that at JAMB, the other registrars were not remitting any money. But even this year, JAMB is remitting about 2 billion naira to the federal account. What is the reason for that? The man is a highly religious person. It's about ethics. So he didn't get there because of his high academic qualifications or achievements. But it was due to his upbringing, his culture, his religion, and the totality of what he is.
As a person.
As a human being. So the truth is that we have somebody, I understand, who has just been appointed chairman of one of the boards that like cash cows.
Yes.
And he put up something that, please, in this position I'm in, I'm only going to do the right thing. There will be no contract. So please don't
come to me.
Don't come to me. So this is the point, that at inception, all of us must imbibe this ethical and moral ethos. And once it is in us, then we find out that we can do very well. Because then what happens? As a human being, you are born, you eat, you live, you reproduce, and you die. So whether you are in Nigeria, in America, in Japan, or whatever, the same thing happens to all human beings.
Yes.
And we were born naked and we go back naked. So the most important aspect of human development is the human character. Because once that is failing, everything else is, the denominator is zero.
Okay, all right, you heard that the denominator is zero, but now let's come back to where we are today. The new future. The new future, D-Doc, the new future, we are saying we don't want humans anymore. We want humanoids, we want robots, we want artificial intelligence. So the interrelationship between humans, who will now be the judge or the umpire? How do we administer that?
Well, the truth is that technology is here to improve our lives and to make our lives better, and really not to replace us. So all efforts that are being made in terms of human, I think they are created to serve us, to make the world a better place. And there's no time when, because even for those, the artificial intelligent
Objects.
it is garbage in, garbage out. What you feed into them is what they bring out. So again, whatever their intelligence is, it will be predetermined by the humans. So the point is that the danger is that if this knowledge is available to people of questionable character, then the whole of humanity is actually endangered.
Okay, all right, before we let you go, Doc, because I know you have quite a number of things to do, what we'd like to ask from you would be, now for every incoming government that we are going to deal with as citizens, what should be the parameters? What should be the measurement? What should be the level of our expectations? Is it because we just want a change, or that we actually, are valid to get those changes?
Thank you so much. Getting into a political office is about leadership. And Maxwell has defined that a leader is a dealer in hope. So a leader sees further. A leader thinks further. A leader can see what the followers do not see. So the purpose of leadership is influence. So when you get into this position, is to influence society to become better,
positive,
more prosperous, and to actually manage the environment so that the environment is sustainable and so that everyone can benefit. So the most important thing about leadership is training and retraining. If you don't train them, don't blame them. So for any government that is incoming, the most important thing is that Nigerians want to be happy. They want to have 3 square meals. What are the mitigating factors to this?
Yes.
We identify them. One of them is skill. A lot of university graduates don't have skills, so they need to have improved skill sets. So another thing is making sure that the environment is investment friendly so that we can have investments coming. The other thing is to deliberately create jobs. For example, the farming can absorb all the population. So we have the rice mills, but Boko Haram has done a lot of havoc. I hope this time around, with a peaceful environment, we can develop our agriculture and so many other areas. So if we have these things in place, we are really blessed with the resources. So it's for us to use the resources for the benefit of all. And also, most of the important thing is that leadership must be by example. The leaders must ensure that by their conduct, their way of life, they are not flamboyant. Because
all right, we'll take a break. D-Doc, we'll take a break. When we come back, then you let us get the full explanation of what mean that our leaders should not be too flamboyant. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll be back shortly.
Experience unlimited super-fast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
All right, thank you for staying with us. It's still Close Flow from NTA2 Lagos Network Center. We see you have Dr. Oshoba with us. We took a break so that he can have a sip of the champagne that we have for him here. He's smiling because he knows that it's just watery champagne. But okay, doctor, you said something just before we went on that break. So leadership, flamboyant leadership, what does that mean? Is that you are saying that we are just playing to the gallery?
So the point is this: a lot of the time, the leadership, they display this attitude of do what I say, not what I do. But the citizens will copy what you do. It's just like you have children at home. No matter what you tell them, they will still copy your behavior. So if the leadership is telling us don't go for overseas treatment, then it must start from home. So if the leaders also are utilizing the resources and health facilities here and developing it, everybody will stay here because every human being tends to copy the leader. In fact, when you are the leader, in fact, politics has been defined as the authoritative allocation of value system in the society.
Authoritative allocation of value
system
in the society?
Yes.
Wow.
So the value system of the society is determined by the politicians. So if the politicians, for example, somebody who didn't have anything and then suddenly is gotten rich, then you have Yahoo boys.
Copying the same
thing and saying that we cannot get it through that your right way, but maybe we can go through the backyard to get it. So the point is that we just must be honest, we must be transparent. And luckily we have people in the country. For example, President Buhari, you can see that he's a very modest person.
Yes.
You can't find him with any extravagance.
Yes,
you can see people like Professor Isha Kole, the registrar of JAM, very simple. And so if we can adopt, we have heroes. We have heroes
who have lived like that.
If we have lived like that, in the NTA, we have people who have contributed and are still contributing and sacrificing. So we need to showcase this leadership and promote them so that society can copy them and society can be a better place for everyone. Okay,
all right, we are going to throw it back at him because he's, as the chairman of CIA, it's not foreign CIA, not US CIA. We are looking at CIA here in Nigeria. Yes, administration. Now, but do you implement regular or any peer review works, maybe as to check the effectiveness and the efficiency of particular management processes or practices or styles? Do you have that as part of your curriculum, for instance?
Yes, that is correct. And even for the government, anytime there's a budget review or policy, they normally send to us, and we also send in our comments. So we have input in it. And then we have strategy sessions where we review policies and give advice to government from time to time so that can be improvements.
Now, okay, moving from public service, would you also do the same thing for the private sector? Because you know that, as it were, small, medium enterprises that should actually help to brace up the entire economy are not being properly shouldered.
I thank you very much for that question, because the truth is that the private sector actually is the key to the economy. Responsible for maybe more than 60 to 70%. So this is the critical area where we need to train and retrain and retrain.
Yes.
And we have skill acquisition, and we need to also have mentorship and mentoring. You can see the Tony Elumelu Foundation.
Yes.
It's trying to do things like this.
Yeah.
And other people are trying to do that, and we have leaders emerging. Our movie, our
industry,
Nollywood, our arts is respected. Our music is respected everywhere, all over the world. So it's about mentorship. It's about ensuring that people are trained in entrepreneurship right from the word go. And one thing is that we'll see that in our secondary school, primary school, secondary schools, universities, they teach English, physics, mathematics, and so on. But in other climes, they will teach you that you have gold in Leisure. How are you going to mine the gold? So you need to acquire the science of mining the gold. So here we have the resources. We need to train ourselves, our unborn children and the newborns, and the kind of training we give them is practical training.
All right.
Rather than looking for a white-collar job.
Thank you very much, Dr. Oshoba. It's been nice having you here with us. You want to say thank you to our viewers at home?
Well, viewers, thank you very much. Indira Gandhi said we should be the change that they want in the world. The world is changing, and I want you all to be the change that you want in the world, so that the world can be a better place for us to live in. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And so for all our viewers, it's never over on Close Flow. Please join us on all our social media handles, and be sure that you lock into what Dr. Oshoba just said. If you want to see that change, you'll be the change. Until next week, bye for now.